Welcome to the Fairly Relatable Podcast.
It's like therapy with your best friends, minus the copay. We're back for another one.
We're back.
We're back. So the other day I was talking to someone and we were talking about how it feels like a lot of women our age, and I'm sure people can relate. This is fairly relatable.
Very relatable.
It's kind of like you're in a crisis mode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, we've talked about it, like this stage in the game, we're just like, there's some sort of crisis, whether it's, is this the plan I saw? Is this a career I want? Is this how I want my body to feel? Am I in perimenopause? Do I want to work? Do I not want? Whatever the thing is, life stressful, kids are hard, whatever. There's a little bit of a crisis mode going on. And then also wanting to just like say, fuck it, like none of it's that serious. But like there are times when it does feel like a lot. So let's talk about, what do we do
Right.
when it all feels like too much?
Right.
Like when we're overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do we handle it?
I'm sitting here thinking like, I definitely handle things in a very unhealthy way a lot of the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, like define a healthy way.
I mean,
right?
Like all the things. I mean, like I'm a therapist. I preach it to everybody, you know, like thought stopping, thought replacement, challenge your automatic negative thoughts.
So
reframe.
You know when I can reframe and challenge my thoughts? When I'm calm.
Right. Yeah.
So what do we do?
Therein lies the issue. Because it's easy when it's easy. It's hard when it's hard. So when things are shitty, what do we do?
It's easy when it's easy and it's hard when it's hard. I feel like you can make that into like a song.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
So
like or a porn. It's easy when it's easy.
What are some of the things that we do? And some are healthier.
Some are healthier than
others. But they're what we do.
I mean, my go-to is to just catastrophize.
I mean, that's like the number one thing that we do, right? And that's what
I like to just get really sucked into it.
Just like really dive deep into the fear of it all, the anxiety of it all. How bad could it possibly be? Because if I can imagine the worst, I'm prepared.
Exactly. That's what we think. Yeah.
And then we'll just live in that and we won't sleep and we'll just revel in it. Because what else are we going to do with our brain if we're not just like freaking ourselves the fuck out?
Right. Yeah. I like to like get in bed, like lay down, like put a kind of just like wedge myself in somewhere and just sit and think about just how bad it's going to be. Like just how bad it's probably going to be. That's what I like to do.
And I will say you and I, we have similar personalities and how we catastrophize in our catastrophize.
Catastrophize
and worry, but the things we worry about are usually really different.
Right. Well, yeah. And like, are we talking like if you lose a job or like you find out something really horrible, or is it sort of just like day-to-day stress? Because I'm perpetually like riding the wave of day-to-day stress. I don't know what I do. I just like keep going and like,
well, that becomes like the norm. Right. So you're not trying to like undo it or deal with it.
No.
You're just, that's what you live.
Comfort in the discomfort.
Okay. Well, that's actually really true. My brother and I have talked about it. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you what my mom said. My brother and I have talked in the past about like, if we're not worrying about something, what do we do? Like my husband, like what is happening in your brain? Because you're not stressed out. So what are you thinking about? Like, what are you thinking about?
What do you think he's thinking about?
Nothing. I think men can do that. I think they can.
Like only men. It's just a man thing.
Oh, I definitely think it's just a man thing.
Ben.
He's in the other room.
Ben. I don't know what's going on in there.
I don't know. We should ask him.
He's very like even keeled.
But when he does get stressed, he does not talk about it. It's more of a shutdown.
You guys are such an interesting pairing because he like is so even keeled and you're not.
I mean, opposites attract. Could you imagine if we were both like me?
Disaster.
Could you imagine if we were both like him? Not good either.
Right.
Like it would just be
What would be talked about? What would be going on? What would you
How would
paint me a picture of what your
how
interactions
would
would look like?
shit get done?
Right. Just kind of like,
Who would plan dinner?
well,
It's fine. It's fine. What do you want to do? I don't know. We'd probably be living in the same apartment we lived in when we got married.
just
'Cause, like
blissfully living in.
yeah, like he definitely enjoys like simplicity and ease, and I think there's beauty to that, but like someone's got to light the fire of like to do this. Hey, we have a quick question. We're recording.
Podcast.
You don't have to be like on camera, but we have a question for you. What do you think about?
What do you think about like day to day? Like what's running through your mind?
What I have to do next.
But he's saying his to-do list.
Okay, so it's like a to-do list. So like your framework throughout the day.
Do you want to
like
talk into a
to-do list.
microphone?
Oh, okay. No.
He doesn't want to come on
He's
camera.
good. Are
Um,
there ever times where you feel like you're legitimately not thinking anything? He's thinking.
I wouldn't say where I'm like not thinking anything, but like if I'm sitting down watching this.
Wait, can you talk into a
Please, come on,
microphone?
Come on.
Here, just hand him the microphone.
Everyone needs to hear what you're saying.
Okay.
So again, the question is,
Here.
do you feel like there's times where you're just legitimately not thinking about anything? Like there's nothing happening.
I wouldn't say that there's absolutely zero happening, but there are times like if I'm watching a TV show or a movie, like I'm focused on that movie and I'm not thinking about anything else. Or
What is it like?
if I'm cooking, I'm focusing on like the act of cooking. I'm not thinking about like 10 steps.
There
what
is
I'm doing.
no multitasking.
No, we're waffles.
He says he's a waffle and women are spaghettis. Go ahead, explain it.
So like my brain is a waffle. Like I'm in a box, like a little waffle box, and when I'm focused on what I'm focused on, like I'm in that little box.
Quadrant.
Yeah. And when I'm done with that, I'll move on to the next thing. And then when I'm done with that, I'll move on to the next thing. I don't think about other boxes when I'm in a box.
What percentage of your day do you think your box consists of just thinking about boobs?
Well, your boobs all the time.
Oh my
There is
It's our best.
there is a small like sub box that is always focused on.
Other boobs?
No, for focus on boobs.
Shane, he can think about one thing, but there's always like a boob.
It's like task oriented. He sounds like he's task oriented.
Yes, I do think there's moments where it's just like there's no stress, there's no worrying. It's just for the most part, you're just like in what did you spell?
On my phone.
You're just like in the moment and like nothing else bothers you. Okay, we don't live that existence.
No.
Thank you.
Thanks for weighing in. Wonder what that's like.
We'll never know. It must be really peaceful. It's also infuriating.
He's like giggling.
Yeah,
as he walks out.
It's also infuriating
Back
because
to
like
his waffle.
I came home from work the other day and it was one of the days where Ben's with the kids in the afternoons and he was cooking dinner. So dinner was going to be all ready after their activities. And then I was like, well, whichever kid, did they finish their homework? And he was like, I'm making dinner. And I was like, right. So they have to sit at the island and do their homework. He's like, well, I was helping them before. Okay, you have to like stir the pan, come back to the child, do the homework,
Right.
go back to the pan. Like it's not a one or.
Right.
both.
Right. Which is why, like he's saying,
One at a
men have
time.
like more, or at least he
A
as a man,
therapist
like,
told us that, and that's like the one thing he's
waffle?
latched on. Yeah, that was
that's
such
the
a
takeaway.
and all the different times we've done therapy, that's the only takeaway he's ever held on
It
to.
really resonates with him. Like he connects with that.
That happened like 8 years ago.
Well, what's the spaghetti?
So she said a man's brain is like a waffle, one thing at a time. A woman's brain is like spaghetti, where she has like all these thoughts and they're intertwining and they're all over the place and it's just like a bunch of noodles. A woman's brain's just constantly going.
Mm-hmm.
And a man's like a waffle. It's one thing
Wow.
at a time. And he latched onto that shit and he's been bringing it up for years.
I love that, like, he really, really, like, that spoke to him.
Yeah. And it's become the excuse.
Yep, that's not how I work.
Yeah, that's not how we work. So yeah, we catastrophize. One thing that I will do, and I've talked about on here, and there's no shame in my game, like if I need to take a little piece of the Xanax, I sure as hell will, because once I'm calmer, I can more like rationalize like
Yeah.
calm thoughts. So
Xanax has a way of doing that.
oh, it's just like a miracle drug.
Yeah.
I wish typical antidepressants can make you feel like you're on Xanax all the time. I said that to the psychiatrist I'm working with, and he's like, well, that's just not how they work.
No.
But
Not.
it's there for a just in case. I did just start a new medication though.
What?
What am I on?
Yeah, what's the new med?
Trintellix.
Is
So
that the brand name or the or the
I think it's the brand name. So
Trintellix? Oh.
I was put on an SSRI when I was 13. Don't think, looking back, like I'm sure my parents were doing the best they could, but I wish I hadn't been because I just didn't know myself not
Right.
on an SSRI. So
Right.
I've been on like everyone, Effexor, Wellbutrin, Zoloft, Prozac. I mean, you name it. Not all of them, but I've been on a lot of them. Well, none of them seemed to be like fully helping. So I'm working with this new person who, oh my God, I love him. He's the
Oh.
first one that's ever taken the time to be like, do you know how the brain works? And then he like explained like serotonin and this and that and like how it all works. And then he's just super fun. And anyways, he's awesome. And he had me, he's like, you don't have to do this, but you could. I did a swab test.
Oh yeah.
And what it does is it gives him like green drugs, yellow drugs, and red drugs, where like show how my body will react, like how many side effects I could have or how it metabolizes. And the past like 10 years of my life, I've been on Prozac or Zoloft, and those were yellow. Like my body just like
Crazy.
metabolizes them and like they don't work the way they would work for someone else.
Yeah.
Which explains so much because like other providers would just be like, take more or add this one to help whatever. So he put me on the Trintellix, which was in my green. Actually, his first choice, my insurance wouldn't cover.
Of course.
Of course. So he put me on this one, and I will say, like, my doom thinking is gone. And if I do get anxious, I can stop it like a lot easier.
I don't know how I feel about this because that means like
You want me to doom think?
I don't want to be the only one doom
Well, hold
thinking.
on. I need to call him because I gained 5 pounds in a month, which is not a side effect. I looked it up. And like I'm more constipated. Which is such a bummer.
That's
However, I do think I was like a little laxed on my food intake this past month.
laxed.
Which maybe, yeah,
I
laxatives.
might need a laxative.
I mean, that's where we're headed. But so this week I've been very careful about what I'm eating. And then if I gain weight again, even though I'm like on it, I'll call him. But I do think it may have been just like an unfortunate coincidence where I started the pill and I've also been like, bread's delicious. Candy's great. So we'll see. But yeah, trying different, like some of our brains I do believe it's just like a chemical imbalance and
Yeah.
we need the support. My brain, something he said about my symptoms and my drugs, but like I don't release enough serotonin.
Right. Yeah.
So
the SSR, I don't know.
So this is not
an SSRI.
correct.
Interesting.
It's not an SSRI.
What neurotransmitter does it target? Dopamine, serotonin?
I think it's serotonin. It's like it shoots out more and then it tells the receptors that eat up the serotonin to like leave it.
That's what an that's really interesting. What's the name of the
Trintellix.
drug?
But we're not medical professionals. We're not
No,
saying this drug will work for everybody.
That's right. That's our disclaimer. But I haven't heard of it, so I wanted to look it up. Trintellix, I would think that's an SSRI if it's
No, it's
keeping
not.
more serotonin in the synapses.
It's not an SSRI.
Okay.
But anyways, I do feel better.
Well, I'm really glad that you feel better.
Yeah, I mean,
Effexor's my jam. I like Effexor.
I gained 60 pounds on Effexor when I was in middle school, or 30 pounds, something crazy. Effexor is not my jam.
It's so crazy. It truly is with antidepressants and meds and stuff. It's just trial and error. But then now
Which
they are.
sucks.
I remember hearing about that swab test like a decade ago and no insurance covered. Now it's more of a thing.
No, I had to pay like $330. It wasn't
Okay.
covered.
I
It
think
was
the
just-
price has gone down though, thank goodness.
Yeah, it was just like I've been doing this for almost 20 years. So I was like, yes, let's not trial and error. Like you're still doing trial and error, but it narrows down the playing field a
Totally.
ton.
Well, the more info, yeah, the more like advancements and
And
stuff.
I'm just tired of feeling, especially with like perimenopause and hormone shifts, like
I know.
the anxiety just got even like more intense.
I'm beginning to wonder, a friend of mine actually used this phrase. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm addicted to cortisol. I'm like perpetually in a state of like, and I know I've said, well, I don't really have, since being on the estrogen blocking meds, it's all a lot better, but I still have like, again, almost like, it flares at times depending on what's going on, like that physiological angst or like anxiety. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering, I feel like my body is almost addicted to cortisol.
No, I mean, I think 100%. I think you said it earlier. It's the comfort and the discomfort. That's what we know. That's what makes sense. That my mom was here the other day and she said to me, because my brother has a lot of anxiety too. My sister, I think her response to our childhood was to just like shut down and like be on her own. She like kind of, she kind of escapes and does her own thing. Where my brother and I are like super anxious. And she goes, I was thinking because when your dad and I got divorced, like it was so hostile and we could never get along and there was so much angst. Like you and Jeremy were just so used to living in that environment that now you're always anxious. And I looked at her and I was like, yeah, like welcome. What? So have you had that realization?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I think when that's what you know, you are addicted to it because you don't know what else to do
Yeah.
or how else to feel.
And I think it taps into that like evolutionary or biological thing where like we are kind of primed and programmed to be scanning the environment for threat all the time.
Mhm.
So I think that's part of it, but I think everybody has their like go-to feeling. So for some people it's anger. I'm listening to that book, by the way, Let Go or Letting Go.
Don't believe everything you think.
I don't know. It's
Letting go.
Letting Go. I'm listening to that.
Wait, are you liking it?
I wasn't crazy about the like, I don't know how
He
many
just
he
keeps
just went on and on about all the things people do to try to like.
Oh,
And
you're
it's like,
that's
okay,
that's at the very beginning.
I know, but it's
But
like,
then he
get
just
to the
starts
mechanism.
talking, but he doesn't.
See, I don't like that.
He just talks about like hold on, let me pull it up really quick. He just talks about like this emotion and this emotion. And like, yes, all those emotions, but how do you let go?
What is the mechanism of letting go? And he kind of makes it sound like what everybody's trying to do is like stupid and it doesn't work and you need to do this, but then he like doesn't tell us what to do. That I don't like. But he does bring up a
the
point.
thing you're talking about was just at the very beginning. He
Okay.
went through all those things. How long have you been reading it?
I'm in chapter 1. I don't know, probably.
Oh
like
yeah,
halfway.
no. So when you like right now, the chapter I'm in is called Glamour, and it's
Okay.
how people. So like one's about desire and obstacles, and one's about fear. Like chapter 6 is all about fear, and chapter 5 is all about grief. But it's like I don't want to analyze every emotion. I want to know
No.
how to let go.
Exactly.
So maybe I'll just skip ahead to acceptance. He talks a lot about, have you heard about the hierarchy of like emotions? Like anger is better. So he talks a lot about, and love's at the very top. Like he talks a lot about that hierarchy.
Well, yeah. So I think we all have like our go-to. So mine's anxiety. Like I run anxious. You run anxious.
Yeah.
Some people it's anger.
Mhm.
Right. But a lot of times with anger, it's really code word for something else. Like there's usually a deeper emotion in there,
That
whether
makes
it's like
sense.
inadequacy or resentment. And then anger is just like observably what we see and whatever. But I mean, emotions are so complex. They don't come wrapped in like nice little boxes with bows. They're messy. There can be like contradictory ones at the same time.
And they're not real.
It's like they're real. Okay, this is my biggest critique of this book.
Is it your emotions create your thoughts or your thoughts create your emotions?
This is my biggest critique. And I haven't heard the whole book. Again, it's called Letting Go. Who's it by?
I mean, it's a really prominent book. It's by David R. Hawkins.
Okay, so far my critique, and it could shift once I keep listening. He asserts I'm trained in like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, right? Like your thoughts, there's always we notice what we're feeling first, but there's always a thought or a belief that goes with it. There's a belief system or an idea or an attitude, the cognitive part, right? We're thinking something. We usually we don't really know what that is normally. We don't even know that we're thinking it. That creates the feeling. And then that impacts what we do or don't do, the behavior. So it's thought, feeling, behavior. Well, he's saying that feelings are what's creating the thought or the belief. I don't think I believe that. I don't think feelings. Now, I do think we can become addicted to certain feelings. So in a way, yes, my underlying thing is anxiety. It's very fear-based, right? And so sure, that is going to probably impact my thought process to an extent, but I don't think that the feeling is what's creating the thought or the belief.
Are you sure that's the way he said it?
Yes.
Okay.
So he says it kind of in reverse, which parts of it I kind of get, but mainly I think it's we all have our predisposition for different feelings. Mine's anxiety, yours is anxiety, so-and-so's is anger, whatever. So maybe there is a little bit of like our thoughts are obviously going to kind of reflect that, but I think that the thoughts or the beliefs come first, and then we have an emotional response to the thought.
And then we have an action. Where's the belief?
That's the thought. It's the same thing. Thought, belief, memory, perspective, it's all the cognitive part. Then there's the feeling, the emotion that comes from it. And then there's behavior. And they all go together. Thought, feeling, behavior. But he's saying it basically goes like feeling, thought, behavior. I don't know. The jury's still out on the book for me, but
I mean, he has researched and dedicated his whole life to it.
It just goes against a really like popular, widely used evidence-based model of cognitive behavioral therapy. So it's just it's a different take.
I'm
So
interested to hear
mixed.
what you think as you keep going.
Yeah.
I got a little bit to the point for me where I was like, this is really wordy
Very.
and boring.
It's
So then I
yeah.
started listening to, it's not really smut, but like, so I've just been in a mood where I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do so. Like, I just want it to be light. I just want it to be light. Like sometimes you just need to like take a beat.
And read smut.
Just escape.
Yeah.
So I've been really into reading right now. Again, I kind of like lost that for a minute, but I'm back into reading, and the Sephora sale's going on right now. So I'm really into watching TikToks about makeup
Ooh.
because I love makeup
Mhm.
and putting on makeup and learning how to do makeup and makeup. So I've been really into like just all the different products and building my cart and deleting from my cart and what should I do in my cart and what is this person? Because there's a few people on TikTok that are like makeup for over 40 and I love
that.
watching them. So I've been watching so many TikToks on makeup and like messing around with my Sephora cart.
That's like, I think that's therapeutic.
It's been beyond therapeutic.
It's
It
like
makes me so
It's like a
happy.
creative outlet. It's a good thing to do if you're feeling like shit.
Yeah, just scroll and shop.
Yeah. And then feel like shit that you've spent money.
Yeah, but that's what I've been doing.
But retail therapy is a thing. I do like to just go like, I actually really like going to Goodwill. I find really cool stuff there.
So here's the thing about Goodwill or shopping at Sephora or whatever, it tunes out the other thoughts.
Yep.
It's mindful, especially Goodwill, because you have to like
Rummage through.
through.
Get so much more bang for your buck.
I can't do Goodwill.
Well,
It's just like the patience.
and
And like
love it.
you're not guaranteed to find something.
But when you do, it's like the dopamine hit.
like it's so rewarding.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I can't like, you know how we went to that consignment store?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like so proud of myself for finding a pair of Levi's and a pair of a Goldie, I don't know how you say the name of that brand, that I bought them because I was like, oh my God, this is less than half the price. And these are great, like Levi's jeans and the Goldie jeans. And I came home and I have a super short torso and these are high-waisted. And I was like, these do not work on me. Like I literally have an inch between the top of the jeans and my bra.
But you can still wear them with like a sweater that
It's just I have to be very intentional about my outfits. I can't just
Yes.
like throw them on as a pair of jeans. It can
Right.
only work in certain instances, and then it's not as comfortable having my jeans 2 inches above my belly button.
Right.
But I bought them anyways because I was like proud that I found them. And
Yep.
looking back, like I should not have bought them.
That's how they get you.
Right.
It's
So
like
it's
all
like-
about, it's like when you have like really low expectations.
And
you
then you're
know?
like, oh my God, at Nordstrom's, these jeans are $228.
Like
And they're
$700.
$60 right now. So I'm just
Right.
gonna buy them because amazing.
Yep.
And then I get home and I try to keep wearing them and I'm like, oh my God, they're way too high waist.
I bet those jeans are super cute on you.
Here is something I would like the world to change. Can we not make everything high-waisted? Can we do some more mid-rise for us short torso girlies?
Well, it's trendy.
I don't
The
give
high
a
waist is trendy, meaning
for girls with long torsos.
it'll go out of style.
I'm ready because mid-rise is exactly what I need. And when you go looking for mid-rise, it's like you have one style to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over it.
Totally.
Done.
I found an amazing pair of jeans at the and they're the type they're Levi's. I think, didn't you find them?
I found them.
Yeah, you found them for me. And they're the type you can just throw on. They're
I
like
know.
a boyfriend baggy.
They're
Oh,
really
super
cute.
cute.
They were too small for me, so you got them.
I've gotten Levi's at Goodwill. I ran into a friend of ours at Goodwill, a guy, and he was like,
Who?
you don't know him, but it's a guy
Then
that
it's not a friend of ours.
not of ours, sorry, of me and Justin.
Oh.
Justin and I, one of our friends. He was in there and because I had time while Presley was at dance or something, and I was just wandering around looking, and he found like these old, like the Amish edition of Pyrex, like old. And they were all like perfect condition, a whole stack of them. He's like, I can sell these for like $400. They cost me $2.
Wait, Carrie, you talking about Tupperware?
No, Pyrex. Like the white, and it has like the Amish. It's like an edition, but it's old. It's like vintage.
Oh,
It's
like
glass.
someone's
It's
used
Pyrex.
it?
Yeah, but he's gonna sell it. It's like he found. Do I need to break this down for you?
He found someone's old used
Pyrex
dishes.
that are collectibles that he can resell for
Are
like
you
$400.
bummed you didn't pick them up?
Yes.
Oh man.
Goodwill is. I love Goodwill.
All right, so that's what you do when you're pissed off.
But I do love me a really great spiral. Like I am known to spiral, and then I start like
you really do it like alone though.
I do it alone.
Like I need to call a friend or my brother or my sister, and I need my spirals to be witnessed for them to be like valid.
I don't know why I don't reach out to people.
You don't. You do it alone. And then when someone goes, "How are you?" You go, "I'm good."
You know what it is, Jessie? I'm constantly ruminating about something. So it's like I can't just always.
But there's bigger things that you could reach out about more. Like some things
Yeah.
are little, some things are bigger, and I'll find out like 2 months after you've been like dealing with it, like you internalize.
Yeah, why don't I'm gonna start reaching out more.
You should reach out more. Where I can't spiral alone. Like it has to be like I can spiral in my journal, but like something I have to be like getting it out, and I need somebody's like input, which goes back to me. A big part of why I'm in therapy is like learning to trust myself.
I was just thinking that.
Like I need to learn to like trust myself, but to this point, like I do call people to spiral out loud.
Well, and you can learn to trust yourself and still reach out, obviously, at the same time. But one way to like enhance that, like self-trust, is you think about times in the past when you did trust yourself and it turned out well.
Well, and to touch on that even more, there's been times where I've spiraled, reached out to people, taken their opinion over mine, and it's worked out poorly.
There you go.
Yes, that's really interesting you said that. That's what I was talking about in my last therapy session, is like working to trust my intuition, which is so funny because I'm so big on intuition, and my intuition's pretty much always spot on. Like it's a little too loud too. Like I can just like be in a room with someone and their energy shifts, and I'm like, I can predict what's going to happen, and it happens.
Right. Well, you kind of like didn't you kind of grow up like not trusting, like kind of not, what's the word? Not trusting yourself, but like essentially like
I grew up
you doubt yourself.
I grew up being told, this is what you're going to do. This is what's good for you. This is the sport you're going to play. This is what you're going to wear. This is how you should wear your hair. Like,
right.
I wasn't, and it was all from a good place. But if like I got in a fight with like you, since you and I grew up together, it would be like, well, what did you do? Like maybe
after you called me a boy user in 6th grade.
No. But it was like all throughout, like if we were in a fight or just anyone, or if I wasn't invited somewhere, it was like, well, what did you do? Like it was never someone else, or I was never like, do you want to be a dancer? Do you want to do gymnastics? It was like, you're going to play soccer and do karate because that's what's good for you. So I think I just grew up having other people tell
Yep.
me what I did wrong or what I need to do. So I was never given the opportunity to be like, this is what I like. This is who I am. Maybe someone else was at fault and it's not me. Or maybe no one's at fault and I can just trust myself and there's a difference of opinion. So it's really like peeling all that back and being like, what do I want? Who am I? I can trust myself in learning how to do that.
Yeah, like you kind of were told what to do, so you weren't really able to make your own. I mean, I'm sure there were some times you made decisions, but by and large, you couldn't really make your own decisions and like test it out and then evaluate and see how it worked and gain the insight.
No,
from
it was
that.
more about pleasing.
Mhm.
It was more about like doing what my parents wanted me to do to please them, even though like karate I did for over 10 years. And I don't think I ever, honestly, Kara, I don't think I ever showed up to a class excited to be there or enjoyed it.
Oh
I
my
had
gosh.
constant anxiety, constant butterflies. I hated every second of it. Every second of it.
Damn.
Yeah. So
And then you
there's
were
that.
forced to do the talent show where you broke the board, remember? To
Yep. With
go
EJ
ahead.
Dupont was the teacher.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to do a couple talent shows with karate.
You were what, a second degree black
Mhm.
belt?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you could still like kick someone's ass?
You want to know what I really think? I think men are stronger than women.
Well, yeah, I mean, they have like a physiological advantage.
Right. That's what I think. That's what I think.
Literally.
Literally. But I did learn how to rip off a penis if I needed to.
No way. Stop. What's the motion?
You go
Slow.
down, grab, twist, pull.
That
I mean,
doesn't rip it off, does it?
I don't know if it rips it off. I'm sure it doesn't feel good though.
I did not know that you learned this little gem of
knew.
knowledge.
You knew.
You reach under, grab, rotate,
Twist,
and
pull.
then pull.
I don't know. Probably could do some damage.
I think you could.
Anyways,
Yeah.
did your childhood ruin you in any way?
I think I just was a people pleaser. I grew up trying to like be the buffer, keep the peace.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
I think you've become more Switzerland as we've aged.
I'm really aware of it. Like where it's like, whose issue is this? It's not mine. And I don't need to be the one to like, I don't need to feel uncomfortable in it. Like observing, because I get uncomfortable when there's like, when other people are having an issue. And it's like, it's not my issue.
Do you remember when you used to break out in hives all over your chest and neck when you got nervous?
I know I did that once.
You've done it a few times.
I mean, it surprised me because I'm very like.
Not lately though.
Right. Not for like probably a decade or two.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I ran very anxious. I would go, my mom was the health clerk at my elementary school and I would leave class almost every day crying, saying I had to go to the health office just to be with my mom. I was very.
Kara?
Yes.
She was our health clerk?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my mom's our computer teacher.
Oh, they like
Oregon Trail.
You died of diphtheria. Your wagon wheel fell.
No wonder we had anxiety.
Shit. Oregon Trail? Like, whose idea was that? Traumatizing elementary school children. Oh my god. Like, tetanus. What was it? Like typhoid. Like game over. You died of typhoid. Because you died. Or the caravan tips over. Yeah, like animals, the water. That we're going through the water. Like your horses drowned. It's like okay,
and that's your fault,
right?
Oh my god.
Oh wow. Yeah, childhood, man. It really does. Yeah, but I moved a lot too as a kid, so it was kind of disruptive socially, I think, for me.
I mean, you were in one spot from 4th grade on.
Yeah, but like I moved when I was 6 months old from DC here. Then when I was 6 years old, we moved to North Dakota for my dad's job. Then when I was 8, we moved to Arizona. Then they wanted to move us again, so my dad quit, so we moved back to California. So
that's a lot.
It was all elementary school.
We've never really talked about that.
I know. I think about it a lot, but because I feel like I kind of get it. Like I get like how it impacted me. Like think about it. I still have all of the same friends. Like you and I have been friends since we were 9.
Yeah, younger
so I
than
hold on
Sydney.
Very tightly to my people.
Yeah, but that's a good thing.
It's not a bad thing.
I think we are so fortunate that like our tight-knit circle, we have history with, because that's one thing with new friendships. Like you can meet women these days that you like truly enjoy and have nice friendships with, but like you can't create history with anybody. And I think history just is really comforting.
Well, and it's comforting, it's comfortable, it's predictable, right? I know what I'm gonna get. It's like
You can have like, if you need to have like more vulnerable or authentic or like even harder conversations, like you can do that. There's like a safety
Right.
net to it. Like it takes a lot of shit to like end a friendship that's lasted
right.
for so long, right?
Word.
Word to your mother. Okay, but what else do you do besides like what do you cope with?
I don't know. I feel
Reality
like
TV is a good one for
oh,
me.
like what? Like I mean, yeah. Like I will put on just a stupid movie or show.
I feel like you like take a bath.
Oh my gosh, you like hit the nail on the head. That is my safe place. Like
Yeah.
anytime Justin and I would argue,
Yeah,
like
you're a
back in
bath
the day, I
girl.
would go get in the bathtub,
Yeah.
feeling the stress and the worry and the fear about the breast cancer. I'd go sit in the bath, like
Yeah.
bathtub. So I'm
glad I could.
That's about.
I'm glad I can remind you of what you do.
I know. Well, and then I need to reach out more.
Get in the bath.
Go take a bath.
Have you taken your bath today?
I can tell you haven't taken your bath today, Kara. Yeah. I talk about it. Like I'll talk to Justin about stuff. My sister.
Your sister. I don't.
It's when people like, let's say you call me and it's going on, then I'll fill you in on it. But I don't reach out.
See, I need to reach out like in the moment. I need to like
You're good
process
at
it with
that.
somebody. Well, I don't know if that's a good thing. I should be more independent.
I think I think you lean on your village to like and to a healthy extent.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot like I'll do on my own for sure.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of shit. I listen to a lot of podcasts and a
You
lot
do.
of books.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Mhm.
Different ones. I'll even have like 4 going at the same time and just depending on like the mood I'm in. So like lately I've just wanted it to be like light and breezy and I've been just listening to a whatever book. But sometimes I'm like really big into like different types of books.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that helps me a lot too.
Music too. Yeah, I like music.
Not music for me, it overstimulates me.
Hmm.
Not big into music sometimes.
Dance class. I do dance
Oh
class
yeah,
once a
you
week.
do
It's
that.
It's an outlet.
That's okay. So I started yoga because it's very mindful.
Yes.
So I do that once a week. I had a
That's
couple
great.
professionals tell me I needed to do it.
Wait, that what? That you like you're not good at?
Therapist. No.
Oh.
Tell me like you should take a yoga class. So I do that.
I'm always trying to, and I think you're similar. Like some people try to upregulate, like they're not feeling enough and they like need to take it up. I'm always trying to downregulate.
Yes.
I need to take my nervous system down a couple notches.
Yes. Absolutely. I'm happy you started that dance class.
It's been so huge.
You
In
go
so many ways.
You go like every week.
Every week. Unless like if my friend Athena can't go, then I won't go. Or
yeah.
But it's like such a workout and I actually like I feel like I'm getting a little better. I love dance, love music. I love loud like
all of it. So my daughter dances and she's doing the solo this year and it's hip hop. It's really fast and there's a lot to it. And I'll like sometimes if she's like exhausted and she doesn't want to practice or whatever, I'll like pretend to do it with her.
Oh.
And when I say this shit is so exhausting and how a dancer's brain can remember choreography is so fascinating to me. This past week at her dance studio was like bring a parent to class. So I did not one of her main classes, just like her fun little musical theater class. She learned the choreography so quickly. Like it leaves my brain. Like how you guys remember choreography and the stamina it takes to dance is so intense.
It's like muscle. It's like a muscle you have to build.
Yes.
And like our girls are in dance. They started when they were really young. So they'll have that.
Oh yeah.
You know?
No, like how she catches on. I showed her this TikTok of a dance to memorize with her friend and like just watching her be like, oh, okay. So for this move, you go backwards in this. And I was like, oh my God, like the way her brain can just like break it down and then remember it.
Yep.
It is a muscle and it's so, I'm jealous.
I know. And it's so good for them. And they learn so many dances too. It's
yes,
not like
they have
it's just
so
one.
many. No, she has so many.
Yeah.
And she just remembers them all.
Yeah, it's incredible. I could sit and watch Presley dance. Like, I'm so excited for the competitions coming up. I could just watch her dance all day.
Have you been to you have been to a
I've been to
competition?
several. Yeah.
They are wild.
It's amazing.
I'm a soccer mom, like through and through. I love soccer tournament, a soccer game. I'm learning dance. Like I love watching Sydney dance, but like to go to a competition where she's dancing a total of like maybe 20 minutes and you're there from 7:30 a.m. to like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
It's and like all the changing, all the moms, and like the dads can't really help because they're not allowed
Right.
in the changing room. And I don't mind it, but it's wild.
It's a lot. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this year for all the comps.
Speaking of feet, and we talked about it earlier today, one of my dance mom friends just sent me a video about like moms selling feet pics just to like offset the cost of dance.
This is a running joke with like my dance mom friends. We've all like surrendered to the fact that we're probably gonna have to sell feet
It's crazy. Well, even Sydney,
so expensive.
Sydney, her tuition every month is over $400.
Oh yeah.
And then now she's doing a solo. So that private lesson costs for her teachers $55. And then it's the rental space of the studio that's empty because it's a Sunday. I'm paying for a studio that's empty. And then when you add that on, every practice is now like $80-something. And then I multiply that by 1 a week because she is so like the choreography is so fast.
Right.
And I'm like, we've just increased our monthly budget to like between $300 and $400.
Yep. Choreography fees, costume fees, competition fees.
No, forget all that. That is all.
But I'm saying in
just
addition
her practicing her solo, we're now
Right.
having a budget of an extra $300 to $400 a month.
right.
Why am I paying $30 to rent a studio that's empty?
Hot flash.
I'm making you anxious.
No.
Which I'm like, I get it. Like, this woman's running a business, and I know all dance studios
It's just
do that.
known that dance is like, I mean, so
That's
many.
just- it's just a part of it.
Yeah, it's competitive
No,
sports.
it's-
Anything competitive is super expensive.
It's just so
but
expensive.
so fun.
I'm like,
to
can't you
watch.
guys practice like in the park without a mirror?
We should open a no mirror. Yeah.
Just kidding. Whatever. It makes her so happy. It keeps her active. It keeps her
Keeps them out of trouble.
exactly, and that's why it's
They've
worth
got
it.
multiple friend groups. They've got friends at school,
Yes,
and
I
they've got friends at dance. And
love
when
that.
one goes down, they've got the others, and vice versa. And
I love that, and they have a focus
and a skill.
and a skill.
Yes.
Hashtag a word that I hate. I hate when people say hashtag.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay,
That about wraps that up.
I'm ready to go take a bath.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do today. I want to go to Goodwill.
Do you? I have to work.
What?
I have some stuff I have to finish writing up. I
Oh.
know it's a Sunday.
Blech.
I know.
That sucks for
know.
you.
I know. And I have to clean up all of Halloween and put out Thanksgiving
See, I'm
decorations.
not even going to do that this weekend. I saw
No,
out front you
have
guys
to.
cleaned up your stuff, and now you have a big dead patch of grass. Did Ben see that?
I'm
Is he
sure.
upset about it?
I'm sure not.
Okay, that's right.
Just
He's
one
like
thing.
relatively unaffected by most things. That's great.
Until he's affected. Like the
Mhm.
dog digging up our backyard pisses him off. If you really want to piss off Ben, like nothing more upsets Ben than ants.
Really?
Can't stand them. Like loses his mind if he sees ants.
That's his, yeah.
That's his weak spot.
But
But yeah, I would feel so much anxiety if we went through a whole other week with Halloween decorations up in the house.
Okay.
Definitely
Well,
gonna
then
put
by
those,
all means.
I'm gonna put those all away and then spend a little bit of time working.
Well,
So I guess that means we're done.
there's that. Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, here's the deal. If you like what you hear,
And we know you do.
be sure to like, subscribe,
And write us a review.
that rhymes.